Yo, what's up, y'all? So, man, coming into today, got a couple of things to talk about. Let me share my screen. Let's do the window. All right, tighter screen. Here we go. All right, so coming into today, let's check out today's news. All right, today we did have some red folder news, quite a bit of red folder news coming into today. And we could take a look to see like how it impacted the stock. So let's see, 215, 230, and 330. So 215, the post market opens at 3. So let's take a look at 330. Okay, so we had just a little bit of a drop, and then we pushed um, higher, but slowly began to close the gap here. So it looks like we were able to get, I think we were able to close the gap. Let's take a look at the markets at 330. 330. Yeah, there was a couple of spikes here. So let's take a look at Qs. Yeah, same thing at around 5 and 4. But here's 330. Hmm, interesting. So it looks like we have more red folder news at 8:45. So that's in an hour and 45 minutes. So we'll see how that impacts the markets. So let's take a look at Tesla today. All right, so we're up 9.8 or 0.98% in the pre-market. Looks like we're now up 1.16. So I wanted to let's see if I can get this government. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot I was doing. Let me open up a new tab with this news. And let me pull up something else for you guys too. So I took some notes here. So I wouldn't have to. Yeah, I took some news because Tesla did launch the Robotaxi service yesterday. So there was quite a few headlines, and so these are some things to look out for. And if you want, if you can't find, I'm in Trading View, right? And if you click on Tesla, you might have to search through this news. I don't see an easy way to find it, but what I did was I copied the links and the titles so I can quickly go over it. And if you want the links, if you want to check out these articles yourself, if you're finding it difficult to find on TradingView, just comment uh, Robo Taxi News, or just comment news in the news link in the comment section, and I'll go ahead and provide access to these links. I'll just copy the link so you can select which one you want. But yeah, so we had Tesla to offer extended EV test drive experiences in via Electrify. So this was pretty interesting. And so let's just do a quick overview. So Tesla to start opening India showrooms in July. So they're going to be focusing on like the you know the upper class, middle and upper class um, target market or customers. And let's see, we also have Tesla to build China's largest grid scale battery storage facility. Tesla has signed its first agreement to build a utility scale battery storage facility in China, marking a major step. So, like, yeah, like I said, there was a lot of news, and humanoid robots are finally here. This is investors and analysts are anticipating that Tesla will, significantly increase their market cap to not just 1 trillion, but trillions of dollars within the next 1 to 2 years. So this is pretty crazy, right? So AI and robotics is the next leg or arm of Tesla's business. That's what they're pushing towards. And this robotaxi launch could make or break, you know, the company, so to speak. So, a couple of things is in terms of the robotaxi. They launched with, if you hadn't seen the news, they did launch the service on Sunday. What they did was mention that they wanted to focus. Elon said through a tweet that he wanted to be hyper focused on safety. So they decided to limit the area in which the service would be rendered, as well as they would have a person uh, 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 in the vehicle, but not within the driving seat. So on standby, they'd be in the passenger seat, in the front passenger seat, on standby to step in. And they also have the ability to monitor the service and respond from remotely, right, from their remote center. So, a couple of things, right? The U.S. highway safety officials are currently reviewing Tesla's robo taxi deployment. So we'll see how that shapes up. The U.S. Auto Safety Agency reviewing Tesla's answers on robo taxi. Um, or what was that? U.S. highway safety regulators are reviewing answers Tesla um, gave in response to agency questions. And Bloomberg reports Tesla leads the self driving race or tech over rival Waymo. So Waymo and Amazon, I forget what Amazon or Zoox, I think is. I can't remember which one is which. I can't remember if Waymo is Amazon's or Zoox is Amazon's, but these are the two companies in competition with Tesla. So far, Tesla appears to be beating them out with not only the technology, because these two companies use the same technology, whereas Tesla's using a different technology. They're using cameras to provide sensory data to the AI. So they believe that Tesla, that is, believes that this technology is better, more efficient, and cheaper than the laser based technology Waymo and Zoox is using. So, a lot more to discuss about that, but Tesla seems to be ahead of the competition, right? And how is Tesla expected to remotely control its robotaxi? So, we got that. And Tesla robotaxis are here, what you need to know. So, and this news actually covered things like how much the service was going to cost, um, where they're launching specifically, like what the area is, how Tesla's monitoring safety, how they're going to step in case of emergencies, the area, the limited service area, and stuff like that. So, a couple of details there. If, like I said, if you want a link to this news, if you can't find it in TradingView, because they don't offer a real way to find it. You'd have to scroll all the way back. Um, but yeah, so I mean, it is possible to find it. I mean, they do have the search option, but I think this search is I don't know if I haven't tried this for a new specific search, but it would seem like it would make more sense to add a filter somewhere or search here. But we'll see. I don't know. If you try it, you can't find it. Like I said, just comment Tesla news or news, and I'll go ahead and provide you with the link. All right. So these are what I believe will potentially impact what's going to happen in the market today. So I wanted to cover that. It looks like Tesla is, if we go back, Tesla did gap up significantly to 327 in the pre-market, but we did come back to close the gap, or at least get close to closing the gap. I think we closed the gap. I'll check this before the market opens. But yeah, so we're making our way back above this key level. It looks like we reclaimed 325.72. So where did we close on Friday? Look at where we closed on Friday, right? So um, just below 322 and change, right? So we're currently above 325 and approaching 326. So this is another key level. If we reclaim this level, that would be pretty significant because this was where we rejected off of this key level uh, Friday. All right. And then we just kind of consolidated and stayed in this general range. So we did gap up in the pre market going into the market or open, but we started a strong push, but then rejected off of the previous day high. This was, oh, hold on. Where? Looks like this was Monday's highs. Yeah, Monday. Oh no, this was last Friday, 337, 337, and 332. So yeah, 332. Yeah, so this was Monday's high, 332. This one candle. I don't know if you guys could see that, but 332 was Monday's highs. So we rejected off of Monday's highs and, just continued our descent downward. But yeah, so we have the red folder news. We took a look at news to see what potentially could impact the market today. Let's take a look to see if we have any. This was Sunday's news. Let's see if we have anything current that might jump out at us. Let's see. Other stocks likely to shake off impact. There was one other thing. This news with China. I wanted to talk. There was something here that I wanted to mention. Um, I meant to highlight it, but I didn't get around to. The announcement shared by Tesla on Chinese social media platform revealed the new project will become China's largest grid energy 50 556 million project backed by local government and Chinese financier addressing power grid stability. Tesla stated that Shanghai plant utility scale battery systems like Megapack competing in a crowded market, energy storage. While competition is fierce, the Chinese market remains an important growth opportunity for Tesla, especially given Beijing's push for cleaner energy solutions. So there was something I saw. Was that maybe it wasn't this? Was it? Oh, give me 1 second. Let me check this. Los Angeles. China. No, this isn't it. Was it? maybe it's this here. Hold on, let me check. China, a China stock index. Humanoid robots are hot. China stock index of companies involved with their development is beating the world market by 16 points. Let's see, Tesla, or let's do okay, Tesla. One for Tesla. China's players are getting a government nudge. Last year, the country's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology issued guidelines for humanoid robot production with the goal of making them an important element of economic growth. So you can see that's the news I wanted to point out. All right, this is the news I wanted to point out is this relationship with China. Yeah, this is it here. So take a look at this. So in the US, Tesla plans to release humanoid robot called Optimus by next year. So get that, costing less than a car. One way to compare whom, so let's skip this for just a second, right? And come here. The highest value part of humanoid robots, because I'm going to get to something that is right here, right? This is where I wanted to get to. The highest value part of humanoid robots will likely be the data models. So this is key. The data models called VLA, which is vision language action. These can be trained using videos and simulated data. But the best model training comes from time consuming laboratory work involving humans wearing sensors. China, this is key. China has a manpower advantage there, analysts say, while the US leads on chips. So we lead the chip race, but China has the manpower. And Tesla has an opportunity to become an integrated robot maker that controls its own VLA model. So this technology, like I said, that's why I was telling you guys, this AI based technology, this is their arm. This is Tesla's next arm or leg of their business, which is going to potentially launch them into the stratosphere. They are already the most valuable auto company. Um, but this is going to make them so diverse, right? This move that they're making. So this is an opportunity for Tesla to really, um, shore up their business and solidify their um, their their place in the market, right? So that's what I wanted to highlight because this is crazy. That's what I said. Keep an eye out on Tesla because if you're looking to who knows? Like it's just like when it comes to investing, especially with stocks and stock options, what I've seen based on my research is that people are just in at the right time, right? You're just in at the right time. Some people know what was happening or what was where the market was headed or a particular stock was headed based on the fact that they were doing their due diligence. Others just jumped in at the right time and just circumstances just, fortune fell on them, right? Good fortune fell on them. So for any of you that end up watching my pre-market prep, you're paying attention. Like this is why, like I'm a techie, you know what I mean? So like as far as tech is concerned, I really like Tesla trading Tesla because it's a way to make significant money within a day, like with in a few minutes in a day, man. So like this is crazy. But like if say you end up entering into a swing trade, let's say you, I don't know, maybe you added $1,000 or $500 or 10,000, that could easily turn into, let me show you what I'm talking about here. You see how the market gapped up here? Well, if we go back to the daily chart, and if I reset this here, so if you look at what happened um, in April, okay, so we had this low and we were trying to make higher lows, right? But then we ended up making our way back down based on news and stuff like that. And this is what's key. So my mentor got into this swing trade. I think it was around this, it was either here or in the middle of this upward trend. Okay, so we're making higher lows, right? This is what we're looking for. Boom, boom. So I think he got in around this point. May have been this point because after he got in, the market just dropped. So it could have been here or here. And everybody who got in with him, not everybody, but a lot of people were complaining. They was like, this was bad. It's a terrible call, you know, because a lot of people couldn't afford to. I guess they got into a position that they couldn't afford to lose. And he actually said to people, don't enter a position that you can't afford to lose. This is something that you could lose up to 80 to 90% of your position. So as far as a drawdown before making your way up, you could either lose it all. So he said, account for zero, account for zero. So if you enter a position, account for zero. That means whatever money you enter the trade with, basically look at it as if it's all gone. So don't enter anything that you can't comfortably walk away from. So I don't know why people would complain or not pay attention. Like a lot of people just, I don't know, people just still end up not paying attention. But he got into the trade. Trade went south, lost about 80, 90% of the position. But then my point here is look at what ended up happening. We started making our way up again. Boom, had this drop, and then a significant drop increase in wins on Wednesday. Significant. And then we continued on, each day in the next week, right, till Tuesday. He made $100,000. He made $100,000 on that swing trade. And when I look with just to be a part of that result, to see it like, yo, so that's how people are making significant money. And there was another thing that happened, like this drop here based on the spat between Elon and Trump. Other people made like a lot of money when they were in that trade. I made three $3,000. I made $3,000 myself this day. And I if I was, listen, once you get to a point where your money's up, let me say it like this. I didn't want to take the risk because the market can reverse. Tesla has the tendency to reverse. Like it can reverse on you, and you want to scale out of your position. So the goal is to enter, even if you enter a large position like 10K or 50K, which is what I'm doing, between 10 to 50K, you want to scale out as you start to reach key levels. So as whether the stock price is dropping or going up, you want to scale out. Now, for me, I scale out the majority of my position like right away, and then I keep like a few trailers, okay, because I just want to secure the profit and just go, right? Um, the key point that I'm trying to make here is if you're new to this, it may be difficult for you to endure the psychological stress because this is stressful. To me it's stressful, right? It's not like something, that's why I don't like stay in front of the screen all day. It's like I want to get in, get out. I want to get my money and get out. The longer you stay in, if you're like sitting through these losses and like holding on to them longer than you're supposed to, not sticking to your stop loss limit, that can become very, very stressful because losing money as it is already stressful when you're an investor. As an investor, or as you become more seasoned, you just get used to it, right? It comes with the territory, and it's more calculated, right? You're not just guessing. Whereas new traders might be jumping in gambling, right? Because they're like hearing the news and people on social media like, oh yeah, I made, 10,000, I made 1,000, I make 10,000 a month, I make 100,000 a month, you know. So they're just jumping in because of the pure excitement, right? And they're like, yeah, I want to get that money too, and without conducting their due diligence completely, fully, right? So but what I mean is like once you get to that level of comfort psychologically and financially, right? You've been conducting trades for over a year. You have a good feel for, the how your stock that the stocks that you trade behave, and so you're very comfortable. You're not gambling. You're strategically sticking to a strategy, identifying setups, opportunities, and when they present themselves, you go into it calmly, patiently, and stick to your strategy and your stop loss limit. And then once you've achieved like significant profits, right? And so let's say you started with, I don't know, I'm just gonna make up another number. Let's say you started with your account at $1,000, and then you grew it to, let's say, 15,000, right? Now you're comfortable. You're $14,000 up, right? So maybe if you were in this trade, maybe you would say it wouldn't make sense, right, for you to be for to start as you first opened your account with $1,000, and then you just sat through this whole, downward trend with that $1,000, because if it reversed on you quickly, then you lost the whole $1,000 and you blew your account. Now you got to start all over again, because it could do that in a minute. Like news could hit and it could spike the opposite direction and take all of your money. Like that's how volatile Tesla is. Like news could drop and it could go crazy. The stock could go crazy. So those are things like this is not where you can't account for the news that could break in real time. So that's why you have to be careful and look at scaling out of your position. You can scale out as well as you can scale in. So you can buy more contracts at that position. But my point is that when that happens, you wouldn't want to do that at the opening when you first opened your account, right? But once you've become comfortable and your account has grown significantly, yeah, maybe you can risk $1,000 on this, and you can say, I'm gonna just sit through and take the risk. I'm gonna sit through this trend, the entire trend, from from the beginning all the way to the bottom, for as far as it goes, because you don't know how far it's gonna go. You're sitting in this in real time, right? So you're in the trade, and all of a sudden, it's just dropping and dropping. And as the momentum increases, because I mean, this was a huge drop. This is a huge drop. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, look at this on Friday, right? This was crazy. And then Monday. So, like, we were dropping like crazy. Tuesday. Yeah. So, if we go to the 4 hour, let me go to the 4 hour because I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. Because there was this one candle you could see, like this right here. This is a 4 hour candle. So the whole day Tuesday, I mean, it just dropped. It was just dropping, dropping, dropping. So this is better. Like, so this is the whole day, right? But when it opened, I mean, the stock just dropped and dropped and dropped. And it just kept dropping. And the same thing here on March the 25th, right? So we got February, we got March. These significant drops, like I think this was, what was that? No, April the 8th. This is where it was. No, no, no. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. June 5th. June 5th. I apologize. June 5th. Thursday. Thursday. Look how long. This is 4 hours. This is during the market. This is during the open. It dropped the whole day. The whole day. So if you was in at $1,000 and you let that $1,000 ride, that momentum, like a candle, like this type of activity could have netted you like $20,000 easy. Like because you would have been in at the top, and the it would have grown exponentially. Like that's how crazy it was, because I sat in and got my money like quick within like minutes. I was up like 3 grand within like two minutes. So if you was in for 1,000 and you sat through that the whole day, man, that 1,000 could have been 10x easy, 10x, 15x, 20x easy. Um, because that was a crazy drop, a crazy drop. But yeah, it looks better on the 4 hour than it does the day, because you could see like 4 hours of a just continuous drop. Like that was crazy. So that's what I mean. Like you don't want to sit in these though when you're not in that position. So Remember, I told you guys that when I began, uh, what was it, 4 months ago, 3 months, 4 months ago, I first made 20K. Thought I could just throw money at it, thought it was just super easy. And I learned the hard way. And I ended up the next week, um, that whole week, at the end of the week, I lost 40K. So I lost a 20 plus 20 more K. And then I went into the following week, and I think I lost a total of like 40, like close to 45K, just shy of 45K total. Right. So I lost a 20 plus 25 of my own money. So now I'm down 45K, right? And now I have to slowly build up my account, right? To recoup the money that I lost. You don't really have to look at it that way, but for me, I like to look at it as a goal, right? I'm not profitable until I get back my money and then make, money. So I got to get back the 25 that I lost, and then you'll see, then once I start to make profits, then that'll be different, right? So if we come to the dashboard, you can see my trades. Like, maybe I should go to the calendar, but note the P&L. I'm at 3,300 for the month. Note what I'm doing today, okay, or this month, right? So you can make, like, the month isn't even over with, so I don't know what this week is going to hold, but we'll see. Okay, so we got one more week, one more full week, and then just one more day next week. Okay. So I could end up making 10K because I made 6K. Look, I made 6K within 2 weeks, over 6K in 2 weeks. I lost 1K this month. Now I'm recovering from the losses I had the previous month in May, because I had some significant losses in May, and that's when I decided to revise my strategy and reduce my stop loss limit. Okay, and that helped tremendously, as you can see here. I'm not even going over $1,000 in my losses, right? So keeping it very minimum. If the trade isn't a winning trade, I'm jumping out quick. Like, I'm not even giving it a whole lot of room. So yeah, so I'm up right now, 3,300, right? So that's going to continue to inch me closer towards recouping the 25K. So I'll let you guys know what my final results are at the end of each month, and for the entire year of 2025. Now my goal is to make 25K profit. So I want to recoup my 25K and then make an additional 25K of profit, right? So my goal is 50K. Since when I began, my minimum goal was just 25K, and it's still my minimum goal, but now I got to recoup my 25K and then get, earn 25K. So we'll see if I can reach that goal or how close I get to it. What we have is 132 trading days left. 132 trading days left, because you have to deduct weekends and holidays where the market is closed, right? So we have 132 trading days left. So basically 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 months, right? 4 months of trading left. So we'll see if I can average. That means I need to average a little over 12K. Yeah, let's just say 13K, a little over 13K a month. That'll get me to where I need to be. Um, so yeah, 12, 13K. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into my plan for today. All right. So if we go back here, taking a look at, oh man, look at where we at right now. So the news is great. News is great. Let's see if we had any new news. Let's refresh real quick. 14 minutes. Yeah, I was interested to see what the market's going to do based on this potential war that's going on. The U.S. did launch a strike against on Iran, and so I don't know what's going to happen once the market opens, because this could happen during the pre-market, like it did here, and then drop. So you never know, right? You never know. So don't let this fool you. Okay, this is a good sign, but it doesn't mean that that's going to stick. This is what we call a V-shaped recovery, and we are reclaiming these key levels. So that's pretty cool. If we continue strong, I'll get into that in a minute, but let's take a look and make sure we don't have any more news. Tesla stock jumps after Robotaxi rollout. Yeah, this is good. Tesla's Robotaxi exceeded expectations. Let's see what that says. As a company offered test rides, did I tell y'all it was only a couple of bucks? Analysts said they took multiple rides in a Robotaxi during the launch. People were like posting it on social media and everything, like going into it. We expected to be impressed, but walking away from it, all there is to say is that this is the future, said the analyst, adding that it was indistinguishable. It was indistinguishable that the car was driverless. The analyst also said the experience was safe and comfortable, marking a milestone for autonomous driving. That's what, and see, this is the thing. Like, you can't get this when you have to go through all of the red tape, right? Like, even the state of Texas, right? They wanted to implement certain regulations, and they were requesting that Tesla slow down and not launch on the 22nd. And I'm like, but wait a minute, come on, guys. Like, look, express to me, like, give me the information I need. That's what you can imagine. Elon is like, give me the information I need. What's the data points, right? And then let me and my team, my company, work on, addressing those concerns, and then let us launch, right? Let us address the concerns, and then we'll present the data to you, because you need information, not just theoretical, you know, like all these theories and stuff. Because a lot of people are like, no, don't do it. But it's like, man, okay, look, we can draw out a specific area, right? We can map out a specific area based on safety concerns. We can prevent or like limit exposure to high traffic areas, kid zones, school zones, and stuff like that. And we'll just do a specific locale, right? Just specific area, okay, a limited area. And then let's just see how it works. Okay, let's see how it works. Let's gather some data. Let's see if it works well, and go from there. Let's see, 500 price target. Wow, it went from 350 to 500. Okay, yeah, it's not just the robo taxi, y'all. It's the AI. That's what I wanted to point out to y'all. It's the AI side. This is what is they're banking on. Tesla, I believe, is banking on, like, really hitting that AI home, the AI leg of their business home, right? Because this is crazy. So let's look at the next. Let's look at the other one. Tesla jumps. Let's look at what they said here. Tesla did it. The company launched its launch. Super congratulations to Tesla AI software and chip design teams. On this, said tweeted CEO Elon. So Elon was happy. Tesla shares were rising in early trading Monday. They always say it like it's past tense. um, well, which is today, right? While investors decide whether the launch is a sell the news event or if it will kick shares into another gear. So Tesla stock was up 7% in the pre-market. So like I said, I had it at 0.98%. So you can see it's now at 327 and change. Was $3, right? It moved $3 already in the pre-market. Let's see how it will trade in today, right? After the market opens, it's tough to say. The stock market is forward looking, and sometimes shares rise in anticipation of something and fall when that something arrives. So that's why I said we'll see. It was a relatively uneventful Sunday in Austin, and uneventful is a good outcome for Tesla's launch. So look, okay, so they had 10 square miles, right? 20 influencers in a geofence part of Austin, 10 square miles, and rates Tesla stock at a sale valuation call with 175 price target. Based on our analysis, public available, the day was filled with almost entirely clean driving performance. The level, what is this price target? What are they talking about? The level evaluation call. I don't know what I'm gonna have to look at what this is. Tesla stock at sale. Bullish analysts and investors believe artificial intelligence is worth trillions of dollars. Now, one competitor from Ford, forget his position, he's a higher ranking executive. He says, "I don't know where they're getting these numbers, so I want to give y'all transparent, non-biased I trade Tesla, but I am not biased towards Tesla. I just like the stock because of the potential that it yields as far as the gains in when investing in stock options. But I am not biased towards Tesla. I watch the news and just stay objective about it. Tesla stock rose 35% since the company's October 10 Robotaxi event. Laid out plans to start still. Da 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 da. Looking for something. Feel like Charlotte is found recently told Barron's and has a lot of support around 300. That's the lever to where it might drop on a sell the news reaction. Oh, okay, so they're anticipating that we might drop Tesla stock. He took his price target on Tesla stock to 215 from 190, but SPAC kept his sale rating based on the valuation. So apparently, like I'm new to day trading, so let's take a look here. My understanding is it sounds like they're saying that oh, let's just do this. Let's pop this in chat GPT and get a summary, okay, about the sale valuation. Let's get a quick summary. All right, let's go into chat GPT. Chat GPT, let's paste that in there. All right, chat, please extract details on analysts sale points and what explain concisely what this means exactly. I'm typing this pretty quick, so I just want to see what chat says. Here's a concise breakdown. He believes the stock price is too high relative to the company's fundamentals like revenue, earnings, growth prospects. Comment. Even though the Robotaxi test went smoothly, it was very limited. Only 20 influencers, small area, safety drivers still present, so it doesn't yet justify Tesla's high stock price. Yeah, okay, like I get that point, but the what we're talking about the AI. See, that's why I feel like people get too caught up on a singular thing. Like they're looking at like, oh, well, it's this, and then they look at, oh, well, because it was a small area and the safety driver was still present. No one was in the driver's seat. Okay, so like, stop it. But but it's like, man, did the technology work? Yes, the technology worked. That's what's important. Like, so let's see what this guy said. Joseph's back. All right. Increased from rating cell, right? So increased from 190 to 215. So that's positive. He acknowledges the Robotaxi news, but says Robotaxi opportunity is already priced into the shares. Okay, so he believes, in other words, investors have already baked it in, the hype and the future growth. So further upside is not justified at the current price level. Okay, cool. I get that. So they're saying based on when they talked about the news in October. Okay, cool. So that makes sense. His seem a little bit more objective. What sell means in the analyst term, it doesn't always mean Tesla is a bad company. It usually means the current stock price is too high for the risk reward balance. Expect a pullback or underperformance versus other opportunities. Key takeaways: both analysts think Tesla stock is overvalued right now, even with the Robotaxi launch. They expect the stock could fall toward their price targets 175 or 215, especially if investors take profits, sell the news. So that could happen. You kind of see we kind of saw that happen here because Tesla did jump up, and then you can see like this sell off, right? So that's what people are waiting for. People like look at this, right? So we had this jump, right? Now people are taking profits. So you can see like investors are taking profits. Boom, we jump up again. Oops, sell off, right? So is that going to happen today? Maybe, man, this is crazy. Remember, we got red folder news. If you're going to trade test, remember we got red folder news coming in about 40 minutes. Yep, 40 minutes. And so we'll see. But this looks good. Let's see where it's spot. Yeah, the market is, wow. Let's see what Q's is doing. Okay, okay. Let's see. But like, as I said, it did that before and it dropped, right? So we could jump up and then people could start selling off to take profit. But what I'm looking for coming into today, right? So here's what I'm looking for. Based on this, I like to see um, how we react off of the key levels here that we have marked out. It's likely we could break above the key market strongly, like right off the open, and then continue higher, right? This can happen. I showed you the past couple of days how it did that. What I'd be looking for is a reaction, pullback off of this key level 332. And this is where I'd be looking for continuation to the upside. But I would need to see a retest of this key level and buyers stepping in aggressively at this 332 level, right? If that doesn't happen, let's say we open and we kind of consolidate, I'd like to see a retest of this key level, which is the pre-market high at 327.80, and to see buyers stepping in aggressively for continuation toward the upside. Okay. This to me is a better opportunity versus continuing strong right out the gate. Um, I like to see some consolidation and then a retest and then buyer step in aggressively. That's what I'd be looking for. We could, um, kind of consolidate, then drop below this key level. So I'd be looking for the reaction off this key level. If we decide to stay heavy, I'd be looking for this key level to become resistance and for us to retest this level for continuation to the downside, right? Same thing here. This is another key level we have marked. So if we come back and retest, continuation, come back, retest this key level, and then see the reaction off the pre-market low. If we continue heavy, be below the pre-market low, I'd be expecting a retest of that key level for continuation to the downside toward the key level of 317.78. So that's what I'm gonna be looking out for today. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on Tesla specifically. If I trade any other stocks, I'm gonna take a relatively small position, probably under $1,000, 1,000 or below. Couple of contracts, 3 to 5, to 10 contracts, as long as it's under 1K. So I could just kind of enter the position and scale out and not suffer too big of a loss. Because I really want to focus on these type of trades. So I see them. I see when they set up. That's why I day traded them. Um, I day traded them with paper trades last week. So you can see I didn't enter any trades besides this one on Monday. I wanted to test my theory and confirm that what I was saying was correct. So you can see 4 trades. I ended up getting $4,000, over $4,000. Now take a look at the day. Okay, let's look at the 17th and the 18th. Okay, so I entered 9 trades on the 17th and 4 trades on the 18th. I want you to see what that looks like. So I was testing this theory out, right? So we start on the 17th. I entered a couple of trades aggressively, and then it kind of like I was like, okay, well, let me wait. Let me just look. Let me wait patiently and enter the trades based on what I'm looking for. Okay, so I really want to track this and do this right. So that's what I did. After I suffered these losses, I was like, let me do this right. So this is a paper trade. This isn't my real money. 3,000. And then notice when I got into the next trade, I didn't stay in, right? 1 to 3%. I got out. As soon as I lost 1%, $400, $500, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Next trade, 1,700. Next trade, 1,900. Next trade. You see what I'm saying? And this is on the, now I'm starting the 18th, but this was the 17th, so I had to break even. Notice, like, I'm just showing you when I'm hyper focused, sticking to the strategy, Don't play around because I kind of just played around. I'm like, well, that ain't my money, right? So let's just see some things. Let me just see if this works out. And it didn't. But these aren't the ideal ones. This is. All right. So now the 18th, boom, took a 40 contracts, right? The total position, 45K, right? Made 1900. 43K was the total position, almost made $3,000, right? 2300. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. And this is in one day. This is the 18th. Four trades, all green, all green, because the setup keeps presenting itself every time. This is what I did here, 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 and here. Same thing, but I wanted to test and make sure, like, am I really seeing this? Does Tesla really behave this way? That's why you want to test your thesis, right? You want to go into your paper trades, or if you use your real money, go into a really, really small position. I wanted to do the same position that I would normally enter in. So that's, you know, 10 or 50K. So it's just like, let me see how this would have worked. And notice how quickly, right? I'm getting this money. 5 minutes, $1,700. 16 minutes, $3,000. 16 minutes, y'all. This is not a whole day's worth of work like you would at a regular job. This is crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this pre-market prep with that. And like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. So if you found value, um, feel free to like and subscribe and follow for more. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's your man Ace. I'm dropping the mic right here. I'm out.